This program is brought to you by Emory University.
We basically read the Wall Street Journal every day for 6 weeks, and then we went to Ohio at the Fisher College of Business to compete against 18 other BBA programs across the country in a game show style setting. And we actually made it to the semifinalist round, which was really exciting.
We actually picked a stock that I personally was following since July, and I'm personally invested in it, so I already previously knew a lot about the stock before I started. Once we pick the stock, we actually have to do tons of research. This involves using Bloomberg, using all of our library resources, and reading a lot of equity research reports.
You'll learn a lot about what's going on around in the world, as well as you can learn things that are actually applicable to your classes. For example, I was taking corporate finance at the same time I was doing the competition, and we actually talked about a lot of the events that happened in the finance industry in the class, so I was able to answer a lot of the questions that my professor raised.
This competition sort of simulates what you would do in real life as an equity research analyst or an investment banker or even a wealth management planner, and it's a really great team building experience, and you get to put it on your resume. It looks great that you're selected to be a representative of Emory, and you can have something to talk about in interviews. You have specific stories and specific ideas that you can tell them that, hey, I've done this before, and that I would succeed at this job if you hired me.
Our case is about hydraulic fracturing, and actually before the case my partner and I had no idea what those two words even meant. So you definitely learn a lot along the way, and it's interesting to kind of see how fast you can learn about something, because I think that definitely comes up, especially in the business school with a lot of your classes. You have to kind of be on your A game all the time, to where if you don't know something you have to know how to research it really fast. So I think that's the greatest skill that I learned from the competition.
I think what was interesting about our team was that it was a very good mix of diversity. We had Asians, we had Americans, and we had someone from Ecuador. So it was a very interesting mix of perspectives that came together. And
I originally applied because I thought it was a good opportunity to be competitive in kind of a positive light, because I think with the BBA curve everyone's very competitive in class, but this is kind of an opportunity to be competitive and be nice to your peers at the same time.
I served as the team's coach. I was responsible for making quizzes every day and collaborating all their notes to make sure that all the teammates were staying on top of their work and it was as easy as possible for them to study.
It really makes you change in a way. Before this, I would have never read the Wall Street Journal as often as I did now, and before I even started reading the biz quiz, corporate finance was just a mystery to me. It was just all these numbers, and I was just like, what? Well, there's no relationship that I can see. And then once I started reading the Wall Street Journal, and then after I took more classes in managerial, corporate, and O&M itself, I found a lot more interesting. I found the articles to be much more interesting than I would have before, and I can actually apply my classes into
It's helped me a lot in my interviews, because a lot of the companies that I'm interviewing with, I'm a finance concentration, and they're all very concerned with making sure that their candidates know the importance of ethics in the business place. So usually they always ask me about it, and it's always, kind of nice to talk about, because we were awarded runner-up, so it's like, hey, I competed in this business ethic competition, and here's my prize too, so it's always a nice thing to say.
I've taken investments. You don't really do DCFs, discounted cash flow modeling, until mid-semester. This competition took place finished right before, so I learned on the spot how to build the DCF and do a comparable companies analysis, and that was something that we covered in investments actually after the fact. So I sort of had a leg up on when that exam came.
We were lucky enough to get the opportunity to meet with some of the business professionals that were the judges in the case competition, and we had dinner with them. We were able to talk with them on a one-on-one basis and actually get to know them not only in their professional setting but also in a friend basis, and that actually helped us to build contacts with them so we could communicate with the various professionals at a later date if we were interested in their field.
It's really great to be able to just talk fluently about a company and work your way through a model for interviews and whatnot. I mean, how do you value a company, or walk me through a discounted cash flow model is something that interviewers will definitely ask you when it comes to investment banking interviews.
But in the very beginning, it's like I don't know, it makes your heart race whenever you're like about to buzz it, and it's really fun that way. I thought it was exciting. Like whenever I knew it, like, and I actually answered it, right? Oh my God, it was such a satisfying experience to be like, wow, I remembered something, and I can actually like contribute to the team, and it's like.
I mean, so the competition is not just about memorizing little details. It's really about knowing the concepts and learning about how it applies in real life.
The preceding program is copyrighted by Emory University.